I was lucky to have a really close family. Growing up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, my dad taught us, when you get knocked down, just get up. You got to get up. So when coal shut down in Scranton, we moved back to Delaware, where my dad had been raised. When I was in high school and college, I got interested in the civil rights movement. A lot of young African Americans being arrested in my city at the time, and they couldn't afford counsel. So when I passed the bar, I remember walking over to the public defender's office asking for a job. They said, "Are you serious? You want this job?" And so I took the job as a part-time public defender. Delaware Democrats couldn't get anybody else to run for the Senate, so they asked me to. I said, "I'm not even old enough."
I was 29 years old. It doesn't say you have to be 30 to be elected. It just says you have to be 30 to be sworn in.
My sister managed my campaign. Not a single major office is held by a Democrat in the entire state.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
It's my name.
But we just campaigned relentlessly.
Look, if you like what you see, help me out. If not, vote for the other fellow. But look me over if you would.
And we won.
When I first met him, he had gone through a loss.
My mom, Nelia, and my sister, Naomi, were killed. One of my earliest memories was being hospitalized for weeks. My dad always at our side. He was sworn in the hospital at my bedside.
So help you God.
I do.
No man deserves one great love, let alone two.
His strength and his resilience drew me into him.
We never had to wonder about whether or not family was important. And so there's a real tight bond.
Joe would commute every day to Washington by train.
Roughly 200 miles a day, every single day, just to be home with my kids.
You've all had a chance, I hope, to meet my family. You trying to tell me to go, baby?
Through personal triumphs and tragedies,
Excuse me, 1983.
my entire family, we found purpose in public life.
Joe Biden was one of the most impassioned orators in the Senate.
Damn it, we have favorites in South Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime.
He would go to the floor of the Senate and just let loose.
We have favorites. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans.
He supported what we did to stop the slaughter in Bosnia and in Kosovo.
This, as then in my view, is fascist thuggery on the march.
It wasn't a big issue in America, but in terms of human decency, it was really important.
He's most proud of the Violence Against Women Act.
I admire your ability to share what you went through. I can only guess how painful that is.
He just tells things like it is.
I've been obviously somewhat outspoken.
I want to tell you how it made me feel. These people are being crushed.
I may be resigning from the Senate today, but I will always be a Senate man. I didn't want to be vice president. Barack asked me, and I told him no, I didn't want to do it. But he said, well, go home and talk it over with your family. My mother said, let me get this straight. The first black man who has a chance to be president of the United States says he needs you, and you said no.
To Joe Biden, you were the first decision I made as a nominee, and it was the best.
I think I was able to fill a couple gaps, particularly my ability to deal with the Congress.
How are you?
And maybe my background in foreign policy. So it was a good partnership.
Which you like better, these or these?
Joe, they're the same. One last chance to talk about our bromance. This is an extraordinary man with an extraordinary career in public service. I am pleased to award our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, with distinction to my brother, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr.
After Joe was vice president, we thought our public service was finished.
When we lost him, my son, Bo, I didn't want any part of running for anything. But and those folks came out of the woods at Charlottesville. I knew what Bo wanted me to do. Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
When we came into office, we immediately got to work.
Our work began with getting COVID under control. We passed the American Rescue Plan. We gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs.
It's now law.
We got it done. A once-in-a-generation investment in infrastructure. Yeah. The largest jobs plan since World War II. Thank you. Leading the fight to protect women's reproductive health. I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years. It saved a lot of lives. The country's biggest investment in climate ever. We've already cut the federal deficit, reduced the burden of student debt. More jobs. It's now the law.
How do you balance keeping the commitments you made in the campaign and dealing with the incoming fire? There's always something that happens that nobody asks you about in the election.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine.
President Biden's taken aggressive steps to help Ukraine survive Russia's assault.
I'm very proud of rebuilding Europe and NATO. The United States and I, as president, champion a vision for our world grounded in the values of democracy. If we don't lead the world, who does?
I'm so proud to be vice president to President Joe Biden.
Got a lot of good stuff going.
He's been making some of the most difficult decisions of any human being on earth.
Hey guys, good to see you.
But he has an ability to think about how the American people will be affected.
People don't understand how damn hard you work. Hey man, how are you?
He is one of my most favorite people.
I think we got a
He has a bold vision. Not only a vision, but a vision realized.
The first black woman to the United States Supreme Court.
The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying no, look at the facts.
He'll go up to the last minute of the last hour of the last day fighting for what he believes.
Wall Street didn't build the country, the middle class built the country.
He wakes up every day trying to make the lives of Americans better.
We take care of our own, wherever this flag's flown.
Because of his own personal experiences, Joe was able to empathize with somebody who has been through a terrible situation.
Today, we're bringing home 3 American citizens and 1 American green card holder imprisoned unjustly in Russia.
President Biden's decision to withdraw as the Democratic nominee was one of the purest acts of patriotism I've seen in my life.
I decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
I want to bring greetings from our incredible President Joe Biden.
It was the greatest honor of my life to sit behind that resolute desk to be President of the United States of America. But I care more about my country than I do about my remaining behind that desk.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.